Hi there, I'm Christine Dunbar from speechmodification.com, and this is my Smart American Accent training. In this video, we'll look at how to pronounce discombobulated. So the challenge here is it's a fairly long word. Knowing what vowel sounds you need and what syllable stress is going to be helpful for you with this word. So the stress is on the bob syllable, discombobulated. That means the bob is long and it has a clear vowel. The other syllables are going to be shorter, and some of them will have reduced vowel sounds. One strategy for practicing that you might find helpful is starting on that stressed syllable and then building the word from there. That would sound like bobulated, discombobulated. Another good strategy, one syllable at a time, go slowly and speed it up. That sounds like discombobulated, discombobulated, discombobulated. To do either of the strategies, you need to be able to say each of the sounds. So let's break it down in more detail and talk about what the letters say and what the sounds are. The first syllable, dis, has the I vowel. I put a little secondary stress here just because this prefix shows us the negative, dislike, for example. So we're going to not be real long on that, but maybe a little longer than you would on the other syllables, discombobulated. The letters C-O-M have a reduced vowel here. They sound like it's a schwa. And so I've rewritten that here with the letter U. I often write schwa as U-H. You can almost even think about it as almost not having a vowel there, discombobulated. So keep that as short as possible. Whereas your dis, you're going to have a clear I because you have a little stress there. Then for the letter O in the stressed syllable, bob, this follows the rule that our ah sound or letter O typically says the ah. I've rewritten that here for you with letters AH because it's one way to think of that open, unrounded ah. Ah, bob, bobulated. Then letter U is going to be reduced again. It has a schwa, but this is a U that has the glide ya. So we're going to have this, I've rewritten it here with the Y. In the dictionary, you'll see the gliding letter J. That's the IPA symbol for the ya glide. You can think of it as being a little bit U, like the word you. But then the U gets reduced, so it's more of a ya. This is the same thing we do for the word you in a lot of sentences where it's not stressed. If I'm saying, how are you with stress, I use that U vowel. Otherwise, I might say, how are you doing? Yeah. That's a typical reduction in American English, and it happens in this word as well. Not discombobulated, but discombobulated. Then in the lated syllables, we have letter A says the diphthong A, so I've rewritten that for you here with letters AY. We typically spell A with AY, AI, or A plus a silent E. So in discombobulate, that's how that works here. And then our T is pronounced as a flap. So I've rewritten that here for you with a D. It's often how we say T and D in the middle of words when it's followed by an unstressed syllable. So in words like later or lated, it's going to sound more like that light D sound. And then finally the ED says an I sound and a D sound in the end here, just like in weighted, lated, discombobulated. Watch out for sometimes people will stress this A syllable in words like discombobulate or educate because we do stress it in words like discombobulation or education. There it gets a lot of length. However, in educate or discombobulate, the stress is not on the A syllable. It just has that clear diphthong A without any stress. So a lot of details in this word because it's such a long word. No, again, we'll practice one more time, saying it slowly and speeding it back up. And when you do that, you want to keep the relative length of the syllables. If I just do dis, come, bob, ya, late, it doesn't help me sequence those later and have that rhythm of short, short, long, short, short. Discombobulate. So really stretch out that bob as you're going slow so that you can hear that relative rhythm. Discombobulate, discombobulate. Or discombobulated, excuse me. missed a syllable there. Once you can say discombobulated by itself, do try using it in some short phrases to just so it comes naturally for you. This might not be a word that you commonly use, but it does mean in a state of disarray or disorganized. So I was very discombobulated by that event. Sorry, I didn't have the right things to say. I was discombobulated. I've seen, just for those of you who are not familiar with this word, I've actually seen the word recombobulation on a sign in an airport. They had something called the recombobulation area. That was for after you had passed through security and you needed to reassemble and reorganize. So you know how you go through the security in an airport and you have to take your shoes off, you have to take things out of your bag, you might have to take your belt off, and then you get on the other end, you have all of these things in sort of disarray, and you have to gather yourself together, repack, reorganize, put your clothing back on. So they called that recombobulation. That was not a word I'd ever been familiar with before. However, when you go through, you are discombobulated. Afterwards, then you can recombobulate. Okay, thanks so much for this request. If you have a request you'd like to see me cover in our Word of the Day series, feel free to leave that in the comments for this video or any of my videos, and I can cover it in a future class. If you need more help for the sounds in this word, discombobulated, or in any word, I do have a course that covers all of the sounds of English, walks you through each sound, spelling, accent error patterns, and how to correct them. It really helps you build a strong foundation to be able to pronounce any word you want confidently and easily in American English. Check that out. It's our Sounds of English course on speechmodification.com. All of our online courses are either free or available for under $2, so they're a really inexpensive resource for you to help you improve. Thanks so much for liking, sharing, commenting, supporting the channel, especially subscribing and channel members. Thanks so much. I really appreciate your support. I'm Christine Dunbar from speechmodification.com. Remember, if you want to sound like a native speaker, you can do it. speechmodification.com. Bye guys. Hope to see you in our next Word of the Day or Saturday in our live class.